All right, Mike, thank you. Well, state veterinarians haven't wasted any time testing for bird flu. Reps from the USDA visited almost 100 sites over the weekend to test for the disease, and this morning they tested birds in Kennewick and gave Keeper a first-hand look at their efforts. And Davis Wallman explains why they are not taking any chances.
Veterinarians working for the feds don paste-white protective suits. It's been the getup for 18 vets and veterinary technicians who descended into the bird flu quarantine zone this past weekend. Monday, they continued their work outside the quarantine zone at a Kennewick farm.
In order to make sure that it doesn't spread, we need to do testing around the region.
Farmer Leslie Linderoth allowed reps from the Department of Agriculture to test some of her 35 birds, most of them chickens. Her heart sank when she heard her birds could be in danger.
To hear the avian flu was here, I was immediately going out and trying to figure out how I could reduce the risk for my flock.
Linderoth works with local 4-H kids and teaches classes on how to take care of birds. She stood by while veterinarian Ben Smith swabbed one of her ducks.
Keep your birds in at this point in time. During the wild birds flying through this area, that's a high-risk time of the year.
Smith and his team similarly tested nearly 20 sites over the weekend. Results from those tests won't be available for several days. But a flock tested last week came back negative, and those birds lived near an infected population. The USDA says that's a good sign, but a quarantine could last 8 months. It covers 20 square miles and prevents birds from being taken outside that area.
Anyone who has birds should be concerned and should be taking steps to make sure that they're keeping their birds safe and healthy.
For Leslie, that means keeping her birds in separate cages and making her farm less attractive to migrating wild birds.
Well, I think that there are a lot of people that are hesitant about having their birds tested, and I'm hoping that they will realize the importance.
In Kennewick, Davis Wallman, Action News.
Now, the veterinarians will continue voluntary testing this week. Reps say businesses within the quarantine zone will be able to apply for special permits later this week on selling their poultry or eggs. And 15 schools in